Hello everyone, and welcome to my Let's Play of Ring Saga. Probably heard of Fire Emblem by now, and it's made by the same guy who made the first 5 Fire Emblem games, Saga. And it's really good overall. I like it. I played through the first few maps before. Only up until, I think, map 7 or so, though. Never this far. I mean, never, you know what I mean. Never far enough to, like, know a ton about the game. Like, I know the basics, and that's kinda it. Let's make a new game. I would read through this stuff, but it's honestly really fast scrolling. You might think it's not that fast, but I mean, if I was trying to read through all of these, I probably wouldn't be able to keep up. I really like the soundtrack of this game as well. Runan, there you are. What's the matter? You look a little spaced out. Oh, Holmes. It's nothing. I was just getting some fresh air. If you say so. Anyway, we're almost at Welt. Are you and your knights ready to go? As long as I have my rapier, I'll be fine. Eugen is taking care of the others. I sure wouldn't want to be one of Rosalia's knights. How do they stand that old geezer jabbering at them all the time? They look up to him, more or less. After so much fighting against the Empire, all that's left of the Rosalian knights are young recruits like them, save Eugen. Eugen went through hell to protect us, and now he can't even swing a sword anymore after all the wounds he's suffered. The young knights all understand his pain, so they're doing what they can to repay him. You're right, he has been dependable. Without Eugen and my old man, we all would have died a long time ago. Though it's kind of sad that young guys like us had to be saved by a pair of, shall we say, senior citizens. Wow, Holmes is so ageist, am I right? I've been meaning to ask you, Holmes. Are we really doing the right thing? Your father told us to escape while he and his men held off the Imperial army, but do we deserve to survive if we had to sacrifice him to get away? Don't beat yourself up about it, Runan. It was his choice. Hell, he might not even be dead. He's always been a tenacious little rat. I do hope you're right. I will pray for Admiral Val's safety. I too call my own dad a rat. Come on, Runan. It's not like you to be so sentimental. My old man didn't do this for you, or even for me. He just wanted to stay and fight for what he believed in. When the time comes for us to retake Granada, we'll see him again. I promise you that. Ha, I'll hold you to it. Thanks, Holmes. Now, forget about my old man. This is actually pretty exciting, isn't it? I've always dreamed of traveling the world as an adventurer, and seeking out legends. Now that my old man let me go, I can make that dream come true. Adventurer. That sounds like fun. Yep. I'm gonna gather up some expert thieves and knowledgeable folks, and we'll go on all sorts of crazy expeditions. Say, Runan, why don't you come with me? Aren't you sick of this useless war by now? Holmes, you know I can't do that. Don't act so serious, buddy. I was only joking around. I know you've got obligations. Your dad left you quite the responsibility. Yeah, but someday I'd like to. Lord Runan, forgive my interruption, but the Isle of Welt has been sighted. Ah, so it has. No more time to be shooting the breeze, eh? Okay, Runan. I'll drop you off at Port Saura. Sarah? I don't know how to say that. Port Welt isn't too far from there. Thank you, Holmes. Get everyone ready to depart, Eugen. Yes, my lord. Wait. Sailing to Port Saura. This is Port Saura? Question mark, period. For the doorway to a large kingdom like Welt, it's very quiet. Well, my lord, we cannot blame them for being intimidated by the sight of a pirate ship like this. Holmes, you should leave at once. It would not do for Lord Runan to be mistaken for an outlaw like yourself. Wow, Eugen, that's some shade. Yeah, we're going. As if I'd stick around just to get yelled at by an old man like you. So, I assume you're off to Izura? Yeah. That island's out of the Empire's reach. We'll drive out the pirates there and make it our new base. Will you be alright on your own? Don't worry about us. Hunting down pirates is our job. One glimpse of the Sea Lion's flag and they'll be running as fast as they can. I'm more worried about you, Runan. Your knights are all greenhorns, except for that old fossil Eugen. I know, I'll lend you one of my men. Garo, get over here. I got it, boss. You want me to lend a hand, right? That's right. Consider him your temporary captain. Thanks, Holmes. And thank you, Garo, best unit in the game. Well, suppose it's bye for now, Runan. May the sea bless your journey. Same to you, Holmes. Now loading. Arrival at Welt, Port Saura. Alright, here's the first map. Let's go, boys. Let's have a look at our units, shall we? After this. Eugen, do you believe that the Kingdom of Welt will be sympathetic to our cause? It's hard to say, my lord. The last time Welt tried to aid Reeve at the Battle of Balt, they suffered tremendous casualties. I've heard that King Raphael has been missing in action ever since. Convincing the Queen to assist us with her kingdom in its current state will certainly be no easy task. For now, we should assume that Welt will be unwilling to provide us aid. In that case, we should do what we can to get into the Queen's good graces. Our first course of action should be to get a grasp of what exactly the situation is here in Welt. Agreed, my lord. We can gather information from the citizens here in Port Saura. Make it so. I want all troops to ask around and gather whatever information you can. After that, we'll head for Fort Welt and to meet with Queen Lisa. Yes, Lord Runan. Leave it to us, my lord. Aye, aye, sir. Uh-oh, what's going on over here? Time to voice some females with the same voice as my males. Lady Sasha, the enemy is gaining on us. We must make haste. Huff, huff. Kate, I can't go another step. You mustn't talk like that, milady. We're almost to Verge. Please, just a little further. But my leg. Ow. Your Highness, your ankle's been sprained. To think that you've been putting weight on it this entire time. Forgive me, milady. I should have noticed sooner. Kate, I shall stay here and hold off our pursuers. Try to make it as far as Port Saura. If you can hide yourself and rest in a lodge overnight, the pain should subside somewhat. Then you can continue on toward Verge in the morning. You must press on, with or without me. Oh, Kate, I can't abandon you here. Don't fear for me, your Highness. I am your guardian and a trained knight. The likes of Koda's soldiers are no match for me. You are indeed a fine knight, Kate, but there's no way you could win against so many soldiers. She actually could. Like, she could solo this map. I know, milady. But I must protect you, no matter the cost. That is my duty. No, my privilege as your knight. No, I won't abandon you, Kate. Please, I can make it to Saura. We'll go together, alright? Lady Sasha. Alright. So we're finally in control. Let's take a look at our units, shall we? First off, Runan, the protagonist. He's got solid growths all around. Let's look at the rapier. It has good stats. It has really high hit, which is good. 3 crit. I mean, it's not really much, but, you know. And it's effective against armors and cavalry, so it effectively has 15 might against them, which is super good. His stats are pretty good. All around, 8 speed is really good, especially for a sword user. He'll double a lot of stuff, even at base. Urbanite is pretty decent. It gives him a +1 move and +10 hit and avoid on castle maps, so that's cool. I think castle maps are like, I think it's cities and also indoor maps, if I'm not mistaken, which I might be. As for his growths, they're pretty decent. All his offenses are at 30, which is like average for this game. Luck is 30, defense 25. His magic is decently high for just a physical unit, 15. And his mastery will go up pretty steadily, with a 40% growth, which is really high for this game. He gets Adept at level 7, Rising Dragon at 15, which is basically 2 extra hits. Or no, that's not what it is. It's a critical hit in this game is double your attack, and if you proc Rising Dragon, it's actually triple your attack, so it'll one-shot a lot of stuff. And he gets Nihil at level 35, which negates enemy skills. So pretty good, pretty decent skill set. Next we should talk about Kreis. Kreis is alright, he's not bad. His base stats are pretty mediocre, but his strength is high. He joins with a Javelin, which is 1 to 2 range. It's good. Good to have. What should I say about him? He's really slow. He only has a 5 base speed and a 20% speed growth, so he's really not going to double much. His growths are all pretty average in every area. So yeah, not much to talk about. He's pretty mediocre. He gets Vantage at level 19, Luna at level 25, and Nihil at level 37. Now the funny thing about Vantage is that you actually need to be faster than your opponent to proc it, if I remember correctly. And since he's not that fast, I don't think he's going to be proccing it much, but I don't think enemies are fast either, so maybe it won't matter that much in the end. So yeah, nothing else to really say about Kreis. Next, let's talk about Arcus. Arcus, his bases are decent, except for Mastery. 7 speed is really good, he'll double a lot of stuff. Slim Lances in this game are really good, because you can double a lot of stuff with them. Though my main gripe with Arcus is his 3 Mastery. He can't even use Iron Lances at base. Like, it's really sad. His growth in Mastery is 35, so in theory, he should get it semi-reliably, but relying on a 35% chance isn't really the best, I'd say. So, yeah, if you get unlucky, he can just be locked to Iron Swords and Slim Lances for a large part of the game, unless you give him the Mastery Potion, which I wouldn't use on him, I'd use on someone else. But yeah, for skills, he gets, Lethality at level 16, which Anyways, we're back. I don't remember where I left off. I think I was talking about Arcus's skills. Let me see. Let me check my notes on them. So I know he gets lethality at level 19, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, 16 actually. Adept at level 25, and Canto at level 38. It would be like, wait, what? Why is Canto a skill he unlocks, and why does he get it so late? Well, that's because, not every mounted unit just has innate Canto in this, because it's actually super Canto, where after attacking you can move. After doing any action, you can still use your remaining movement. It's how Canto is in Genealogy and Thracia, and Tellius as well. So yeah, Canto's actually pretty busted in this game. But other than that, nothing much to talk about Arcus. He's decently fast, and that's what makes him, in some people's eyes, better than Kryse. Though I'd argue Kryse is better than Arcus, because despite not doubling reliably, he at least doesn't rely on 35% chance to even be able to use half-decent weapons. So yeah, that's all I have to say on Arcus. Next, we'll talk about one of my favorite units in the game, being this man right here, Garo. I find Garo to be just really fun to use, despite his glaring weakness. If you can tell, it's that he has 4 move. And 4 move is really bad. Like, it's the second lowest move possible in the game. The lowest being 3. So, yeah. His base stats, however, are amazing. So, yeah, I like that. And his base skills are Adept, which procs off of skill, so it's not the best on him. It's like your skill minus the enemy's skill, and then that plus 3%. So it's possible he'll proc it against low skill enemies, but not very likely, since his skill is a whopping 4. The hatchet is a really good weapon. 10 might, 54 hit. 54 hit's really low, but it's infinitely better than a hand axe. Hand axes in this game are the only other 1 to 2 range axe, I think, and it has like 30-something hit. It's so bad. Iron axe. Oh yeah, 88 use iron axe is really funny. I don't know why they have so many uses. I guess it's just a Kaga thing. Oh yeah, I also forgot to talk about Sea Fighter. Seafarer, Sea Fighter. All of the fighter skills in this game give you +1 move and +10 hit and avoid on specific maps. So on sea-based maps, he gets +1 move and +10 hit and avoid, which is really good. I don't know how many sea maps there are in the game total, but there has to be a decent amount, right? So he's probably pretty useful in those. And as for skills, he gets Wrath at level 28, and Wrath in this game is really busted, but I'll talk about it once somebody actually joins with it. Charge at level 29, Nihil at level 30, and Lethality at level 31. So all around he gets really powerful skills just really late. So yeah, that's all there is to say about him. He's easily the worst of the starting squad, but he's the most powerful in combat. And the only flaw is just his 4 move. Oh, and also, his growths are really high in certain areas. Like 85% HP, 40% strength, 30% speed. Those are all really good. Even his mastery growth is good at 30%, even though his base is already enough to use most axes in the whole game. So yeah, that's all there is to say about Garo for now. Now we shall begin visiting the houses. Welcome to my Naval Academy. Here I train soldiers in the art of fighting on the high seas. Pirates are everywhere these days, so knowing how to fight at sea is a must-have if you're gonna be sailing through the Sea of Sinai. You look like a good fighter, even though you haven't fought that much. Interested in learning the ways of fighting at sea? Alright, teach me. Alright, to fight effectively on the water, ... Congratulations, soldier. You may now call yourself a fully fledged seafarer. You'll be a force to be reckoned with on the high seas. Use your new skills to knock some sense into those pirating goons. And Runa now has Seafarer. So on sea maps, he gets +1 move and +10 hit and avoid now. Which is really good, since he's the main character, and you have to use him on every single map. Let's visit... We can visit a house with Garo next turn. And we can go and visit these houses with these two. Nearly all of the countries on the mainland have fallen under Imperial rule. However, I doubt the Empire would bother coming all the way out here to Welt. Our tiny kingdom is hardly a threat to the Emperor's army. When our King Raphael led his knight to Fort Balt earlier this year, no one even found what was left of his body. He was such a fine king. It's terrible that his kindness cost him his life. Welt is finished without him. I hate to say it, but I doubt Queen Lisa or Princess Sasha can pull our nation through these troubled times. Oh, sorry about that. You've been very patient to sit through this old man's depressing ramblings. Here, take this sword as a token of my gratitude. It may be run-of-the-mill, but its edge hasn't dulled since the days that I used it, not one bit. And thus we get an iron sword. Not just any iron sword, though. Let's check it out. 0+1 crit. So, every time you get a kill with a sword, a kill with a weapon, once it reaches 51 kills, it'll get a whopping +1 crit, and every kill after 50 will be additional crit. So, 52 kills is 2 crit, 53 kills is 3 crit, 60 is 10, and so on. However, once you get it to 100 kills, it either gets a blue star or a red star. I don't think the blue star does anything, but if it gets a red star, that gives it the devil effect, so basically there's a chance it'll backfire and hurt you instead of the enemy. So that kinda sucks, and it's left completely up to RNG, but I'm pretty sure there's a way to cure it of the redness. But yeah, it's really good. Every time you give this weapon a kill, it'll get crit, since it technically has 51 kills on it, which means that old man has killed 51 people in his life, which I find kinda funny. But yeah, we'll be trying to give that sword a lot of kills so that it gets more crit. Let's visit this house with Christ. You know that big ship that sailed in not too long ago? I think it was one of Granada's privateering galleys. Wait, you guys were on that thing? Who are you people? Look, I don't care why you came all the way here, but please don't cause any trouble, okay? We've got enough problems as it is. Oh, this thing? It's medicine, I think. I found it down at the docks. Don't know what it's for. If you want it, be my guest. And we got a master potion, which raises mastery by either 2 or 3. It's 3. Okay. So if we knew we wanted to use Arcus long term, I'd definitely give it to him in a heartbeat, but I'm gonna see how he levels. If he gets mastery on his first level, we'll try and keep using him, since he's decent all around. But yeah, let's intern. We'll talk about those two once we actually recruit them. Since, spoiler alert, we do end up recruiting them. Good, we've caught up to them. Russ, I leave the rest to you. Capture the princess and bring her back to my castle. What of her escort, sire? Get rid of her, I don't care. Don't bother me with useless details. Understood, sire. Koda's such a pure and innocent man. So whoa, we have enemies on a map? That's crazy. Look at their stats, they're really low. Really low stats on these enemies. Except for this man right here. He has decent stats. Though no luck, so we could just crit him. Herb. Iron Lance. Here's the boss. He has a solid 6 strength and 10 defense. Really scary stuff. Anyways, that's not a concern for now, since this bridge doesn't open until a specific turn. Let's go and visit this house with Garo. Oh, so you're one of those heroes of Granada, are you? No, I'm not. I'm one of Holmes's men. I'd been wondering what kind of fearsome men had managed to hold off the Imperial army for an entire year, but you're just a bunch of kids. What do you mean? Garo's the one who visited the house. It's so immersion breaking, boys. Oh well. Well, never mind that. You came all this way, so here you go. You can have this herb. An herb is basically a vulnerary in terms of Fire Emblem. It's 3 uses, heals 10 HP. It's cool. Visit this house. Actually, we can visit this house. Whoa. The drawbridge to the south is raised and lowered when the tide changes. If it's not drawn yet, it should be soon enough, and we don't even get an item, sadly. Chancellor Coda is nothing compared to Count Marlin. He's the lord of the eastern countship of Vergia, and he's as loyal as they come. In fact, most everyone agrees that Count Marlin was more suited to be Chancellor than Count Coda ever was. I just don't get why the Queen would appoint Coda instead. It's like the royals all have their heads buried in the sand. It's hard enough just to make ends meet without their bad decisions ruining our lives. Just typical. Why don't you guys try stirring up things here? It'd be nice to see Coda gone. Here, you can have this. My ex gave it to me, and I don't want her to find out that I still have it. But, well, I don't really have the heart to just throw it out either. It'd be a real load off my mind if you could just take it. Miracle Charm. Let's have a look at that. Negates 1 fatal attack, so if you get reduced to 0 HP, this brings you back with 1 HP, so that's pretty cool. It's a way to cheat death. And let's visit this last video. I mean, what? No, this last house before we end the video. That's this thing. Sad music. Well, it used to be such a peaceful kingdom, but all that changed a few months back. When the Revens were pushed back to Granada, King Raphael went to the mainland to aid in the Battle of Balt. But the battle was lost, and no one's heard news of him since. Coda, the Count of Graham, was appointed Chancellor in the King's absence. But he's made a complete mess of things, draining this great town of all life it once had. He's made the tariffs on all imports and exports so high, no one can afford to trade. Not to mention when his troops came through and conducted an emergency tax, seizing all kinds of valuables. There's no way we can survive if this goes on. If only our good king were here with us. Ah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be acting so gloomy in front of such kind visitors. This isn't much of a way to apologize, but here, please take this shield. It was my late father's. It's all I have left of him, but I'd be much happier to see it used by good knights like you than gather dust on my mantle. I'm sure my father would agree. And we get a leather shield. Let's have a look at that. Raises defense by 4. So basically if you're carrying this, you get hit. It basically, yeah, it just has your defense up by 4. And after taking 4 hits, it'll break, since it has 4 uses. Anyways, with that, I think we're gonna end the video here before continuing on. So, thanks everybody for watching. I hope I'll see you in the next one, and peace out.